We all think we know what trust is, right? You either trust somebody or you don't. But have you ever actually stopped and asked yourself, what does trust mean to you? Because trust isn't a one size fits all, it's personal. And it's shaped by three things: what we expect from others, what we fear could happen, and what makes us feel safe. Trust has this kind of mirror effect. So here's what I mean. Trust reflects back to us what we expect. So if you expect people to be reliable, you'll trust the ones who show up and follow through. If you expect honesty, you'll trust the truth tellers. But if deep down you expect people to let you down, you'll always be waiting for that moment for them to do so, whether it's real or not. And then trust reflects back to us what we fear. So if you fear abandonment, trust might feel fragile, like it could break the second someone pulls away. And if you fear being taken advantage of, you might even hesitate to trust at all. And say if you fear conflict, you might only trust people who are, say, politically correct or keep things peaceful, even if they aren't being fully honest. And a lot of the time, trust issues aren't about other people. They're about the past wounds that we carry forward into new relationships. And then trust reflects back to us what makes us feel safe. So for some, trust means loyalty, sticking together no matter what. And for others, trust means telling the truth, even when it's hard and inconvenient. And for some other people, trust means predictability, knowing what to expect, because uncertainty feels unsafe. And when two people define trust differently, it doesn't just cause misunderstandings, it causes deep mistrust. So let's say you have a friend who's always late, right? Or maybe they're constantly changing plans at the last minute. And if you see trust as loyalty, you're not going to call them out on it. You'll excuse it. You'll brush it off. Because to you, trust means standing by someone no matter what. But if you see trust as follow through, that same situation breaks your trust. To you, trust is built on reliability and accountability, on having those tough conversations so both people feel valued and respected. Same situation, two completely different experiences of trust. And I've learned this the hard way in relationships. I had a friend who perceived trust as keeping things agreeable, saying the right things, avoiding conflict. But for me, trust meant honesty, saying what needed to be said, even if it was uncomfortable. And one day, I brought up how they had been complaining about the same issue for over a year, but never really taking action. And I wasn't trying to hurt them. I just saw something that they weren't aware of. And as a friend, I felt it mattered enough to say something. And they saw my honesty as criticism and betrayal, like I was tearing them down. And I saw their ongoing complaints as avoidance. And I felt drained. I felt stuck as the sounding board for the same problem over and over again with no real change. That's when it hit me. We weren't even speaking the same language. They felt safest in staying where they were in the familiar, in the status quo. And I felt safest in moving forward, actually doing something to change the situation. And neither of us felt emotionally safe, but for completely different reasons. And this is why so many people feel like trust just keeps breaking and it's not sustainable. And this is because it falls apart when people have different expectations and different ideas of what emotional safety means. Trust isn't about who's more trustworthy. It's about knowing what trust means to you. It's about seeing how others might define it differently and then deciding where you stand. And at the core, trust is really about understanding what makes each person feel safe, because safety looks different for everyone. So we could say trust is really about being clear. Clarity about your values. Clarity about your boundaries. Clarity about what trust truly looks like for you. And when trust is built on clarity and honesty instead of assumptions and unspoken expectations, that's when trust is truly built, and that foundation is strong enough to survive anything. So before you ask, can I trust this person? Ask yourself, what does trust mean to me? And if it feels right, ask them too, what does trust mean to you? Because the answers to those questions change everything.